Hello, welcome to the Trews. Mad Max is out. It's a film about, well, everybody knows already, it's sort of like a dystopian, wacky races, oddly.
As the world fell.
We're in a dystopian future where everything's falling apart. People have got time to go on big, mad races in their new cars. Let's have a look and work out for ourselves whether this is an oddly prescient film that's trying to tell us and then sell us the idea of our own destruction.
Everybody's gone out of their mind.
Everyone's gone out of their mind. It's going to be awful.
Everything is dependent on oil.
We are killing for gasoline.
The world is almost out of water.
Now there's the water wars.
So it's like literally telling us stuff that's going on now. Look, Mad Max is set 45 years into the future, and that's not fucking long enough, is it? Do you remember it used to be like numbers that didn't even make sense? So Mad Max is set in a couple of hours in a post-apocalyptic world desperately short of water, fuel, ruled by a barbaric dictator who enslaves men and imprisons women. One of the stars of the film, Charlize Theron, describes it as a cautionary tale, but in a way, it's not a cautionary tale because if we were gonna be cautious, we'd have been cautious already. It felt very grounded in real events, said Charlize Theron. The idea of globalisation, global warming and drought and the value of water and leadership becoming completely out of hand. In a way, we all know that, but what's more jarring is our unwillingness to do anything about it. Shell Oil has been granted permission to continue drilling for oil in the Arctic, causing a protest of 500 kayaktivists in Seattle. Don't let your enjoyment of the pun kayaktivist prevent you from realising how bad it is that they're going to be drilling for oil in the Arctic. A leaked internal document from Shell has acknowledged a global temperature rise of 4 centigrade, twice the level considered safe for the planet. So, like, Shell Oil literally know that what they're doing is destroying the planet, but they're unable to do anything about it. It must be that capitalism is as rigid and fundamentalist ideology as something like fundamentalist Christianity or fundamentalist Islam. Like, if you absolutely believe in Christianity, it's like, no, God created the world in 7 days. You know, you're not going to like betray those facts under any circumstance. You believe that sort of wholeheartedly, and it's like, even though they know that capitalism is built on infinite growth and the world requires sustainability, it don't matter because it's a fundamentalist belief system.
It was hard to know who was more crazy. Me or everyone else.
I mean, the problem is it does look fucking brilliant. I suppose what it shows you is like it's much more easy to appreciate like visceral and immediate emotions like, oh bloody hell, this is exciting, rather than like sitting down and watching a tedious document about like, right, Shell Oil have revealed that it's gone up by 4 centigrade. Like, check out this. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warned the impacts of global warming are likely to be severe, pervasive and irreversible. That's terrible. Severe. It's not severe, is it? I'm afraid it is severe. Is it pervasive? Oh yeah, it's going to be everywhere. Fortunately though, we can reverse it, can we? No, it's irreversible. Oh no, we're literally fucked. On the same day, ExxonMobil said the world's climate policies are highly unlikely to stop it from selling fossil fuels far in the future. Because I suppose Exxon, they've had to go, bloody hell, they're not going to stop us doing this, are they? Oh, don't worry about that. Issuing a report on the risks that climate change policies could pose to the value of its assets and future profitability. There ain't no risks, they're fine, until Mad Max becomes real, which will be alright because it looks bloody good fun.
I want them back! They're my property!
Like, think about our own lives. We're all participating in this. We're all like, I'm in the middle of London now. I'm aware of climate change. I'm not like, now I'm sat on my arse doing the Trews, isn't it? I'm not actually directly doing anything about it. I'll probably go on a bike ride later. You know, it's sort of hard to deal with the reality of whether it's global Armageddon or personal Armageddon of my own impending death. At some point, you've got to have it, the catharsis of sitting and watching Mad Max help you deal with your unaddressed knowledge that the world is being destroyed and no one's doing anything about it. California is currently facing its worst drought in 1,200 years. Residents are being forced in, well, no, it wasn't, that was 2,000 years. But residents are being forced into restricting water usage dramatically. The poor are more affected than the rich, already a bit Mad Max. In LA, the most affluent neighbourhoods use up to 3 times more water than others. That's bad, isn't it? Like sort of like a fundamental thing like that. that Nestle has possibly illegally increased their groundwater extraction by 19% over the past 5 years. And what's worrying as well, if it weren't bad enough that these companies are destroying the planet, sort of urging us towards a glorious, action-packed dystopia, we're funding them doing it. Fossil fuel companies are benefiting from global subsidies of 5.3 trillion a year, equivalent to 10 million every minute of every day. What, like even just the few minutes you've been watching this, they've clocked up millions. Greater than the total health spending of all the world's government. Every government in the world. So we're giving more money in subsidies to these companies. I mean, how do you begin to make sense of that? It's bad enough that there's a business model that is destroying the planet unnecessarily, but you're also being charged for it. Not only is it costing you money, like directly, not only is it costing you your planet, you're being bloody charged for the privilege of it. I suppose that's where you see the potency of capitalism, an ideology that posits you as an individual. You think only about your individual needs. You don't feel like me. I don't sort of think of myself as being part of a lineage of people stretching back through Hackney and Stepney and bottle washers and cobblers and all these kind of people reaching back to the dawn of time. I'm not thinking about, oh, then I'll have children who'll begat children. We think of ourselves as individuals, possibly part of a family, and all of our tribal instincts become parcelled off and sold back to us. It's reached the point, this sense of disconnection, that we can watch apocalyptic visions and still not see it as a call to arms. You can sit down and watch Mad Max and go, it's quite good that. I enjoyed it. That's actually going to happen. It's actually going to happen to your grandchildren are going to live in that. Maybe not even. I mean, 2045 is when it's set. It might be an eerily accurate portrayal of the future unless we do something to curb corporations. I bet at some point in Mad Max, someone goes, why do we got to be in this weird, awful, desert, wacky, racist thing? Someone will go, it was because of Shell and Exxon. Why didn't people do anything about it? Ironically, they were too busy watching Mad Max. That's some true news. Subscribe here.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the news. If the news was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.